In 28th sloka, Bhagavan says, some offer, that is karma yogis, some of the karma yogis offer their wealth as sacrifice, some offer the severe austerities as sacrifice, some practice the eightfold path of yogic practices, and some study scriptures and cultivate knowledge as sacrifice while observing strict vows. So this is how the karma yogis perform their duties. And we human beings are different in our natures, in motivations, in activities, in professions, aspirations. So we follow different techniques. Krishna tells Arjuna here, sacrifices take on hundreds of forms. And we dedicate ourselves to God. The soul is dedicated to God, so that the mind becomes pure and senses are brought under control, and the soul is kept away from body, mind and intellect. That is only by following these techniques. In this sloka there are 3 yajnas mentioned. Dravya yajna. What I earn, I am giving it as charity. So to give charity, I am earning. So in any way we can have it. But I am giving it. So I am doing the sacrifice. What kind of sacrifice? Earning and giving it off. And studying scripture is other technique. And the knowledge I gain, that is given as sacrifice. That is Svadhyaya Yajna. Visiting pilgrim centers, visiting Divya Deshams, gaining knowledge about deities. So that is a kind of sacrifice. Doing dhanams, doing davams, that is yoga. So yoga in India we have 6 sages showed us 6 treatises. So Vedavyas, Vedanta Darshana, and Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga, Kapila Sankhya Yoga. So each one follows what is suitable for us. And we move towards spiritual advancement with the physical techniques. With that, we conquer our mind. If we conquer mind only, we can focus on God. So the conquest of mind is done by one of the physical techniques. So how is it possible? Only when you surrender to God. So we surrender ourselves to God and we follow any one of the techniques here, and we conquer our mind, keep our mind away from all materials, away from material life. And this is a practice we do. So there are many yogic practices and we follow that. We do yoga with chanting the names of Bhagavan. So that gives energy to our body. So our body and mind participating in that, because you are doing yoga and you are chanting the mantras. So both body and mind are on God. So you have got control over it. This is a kind of sacrifice. Then Jnana Yoga, the cultivation of knowledge. You gain knowledge by reading scriptures and understand it and contemplate on that, and you develop love, devotion for God. So as you know more, as you involve yourself more, you find more love for God. This is what? So this is a kind of sacrifice. This is a Jnana Yoga. So here you find we follow all these sadhanas. Only through sadhanas we do. So that following that sadhana is a sacrifice. So there are different techniques mentioned by Lord Krishna in this sloka. And it is very important that our Atma to be realized by. So all these tell us how Atma to be realized, because through Atma only we realize God. Then Atma has to be kept away from this body, mind, intellect and ego. It's a small story. Janaka Maharaja had doubt because he was getting a dream. In that dream, he becomes a beggar. So every night it happens. He gets a dream. In the dream, he becomes a beggar, and once he wakes up, he finds he is not a beggar, he is a king. So this has been happening for days together. So morning he feels he is a king. Okay, that's no problem. He is okay with that. Then night he gets. So he gets the doubt, am I a beggar or a king? Am I becoming king from the status of beggar, or I am becoming a beggar from the status of king? So this thought was troubling him. So he discussed this with his Rajaguru, and Rajaguru said, we will call all the scholars so that you will give, because they were not able to give the answer. So they invited all the scholars, the learned ones, and they wanted to have a discussion and get the answer for Janaka. Janaka was a Raja as well as a Rishi. And that day came, there were many scholars visited, and none of them could answer him. And there was one Ashtavakra Rishi. This Rishi, when he was in his mother's womb, his father used to read Vedas. So whenever a father makes mistake, he used to turn and give one kick inside his mother's womb. So 8 times this happened. So that is why he has got 8 deformities. So he was known as Ashtavakra. So with that deformities in his body, he was born and he grew. So he visited here. When he visited the court of Janaka, the scholars all laughed at him. Then Ashtavakra became very angry. Then he said, Janaka, send all these butchers out. These people are the traders of goat skin. So let them be out. The Rajaguru was very unhappy with this statement, and Rajaguru said, no, it's wrong. They are all learned ones. They are all very intelligent. They are all experts in Vedas. They know everything. How can you say that they are all butchers and they are all traders of goat skin? No, I will not agree this. This is very wrong. Then Janaka said, he said politely, I don't know what made you say this. You please tell me why. Why did you refer them as the traders of goat skin? Then immediately said, you had a doubt. So you invited everyone, and your doubt is not yet clarified. I have not yet given my answer. I just entered. I am here physically now. I have not given you answer. Why did they all laugh? They all laughed at my skin color and the deformities I have. That means, who looks at the color of the skin and fixes the value? Only the traders of gold. That is those who sell the animals, those who especially sell the goats. And who fixes a value for the flesh of the animals? The butchers. That is why I said, because they all laughed at me, looking at my physique, and I have not yet given you the answer, so they don't know my intellect, they don't know my intelligence. So then what made them laugh? Only my outer look. Then they all felt very, very bad about their behavior. Then Janaka said sorry to him, and he requested him to explain. Then he said, see, morning when you are king, you are happy. So don't forget to be happy. And remain happy even in the night. And in the night, you get the dream, you are a beggar, and you feel sad about it. Don't be sad. You forget that. So what happens? You remain happy throughout, and you are remaining sad throughout. So you feel sad in the night. So be like that in the day also. And you are happy in the morning. So be happy when you get the dream. So you will be away from both. But both are not good. And both are not real. Both are Maya. You are a king, that is a Maya. and you are a beggar, and that too you got it in a dream, that is also Maya. So both are Maya. Then how can you say which is good or which is bad when both are Maya? You are in the Maya. Both are not real. So how can you say that which is good and which is bad? And you never feel happy, and that you be ignorant of this happiness and sadness. You don't feel bad about this and don't feel happy about the status when you are king. Then it will make you remain calm. So all the people who assembled there understood this answer, and they all praised his reply, and Janaka got the good answer. So this is how we behave. So this scripture helps us to understand Atma. Atma, when you realize Atma, everyone is Atma. We don't show this. We see we are all different, but we don't go by the difference. We don't give importance to our look, the physique, because we see everyone as Atma only. When you are looking at everyone as Atma, all living creatures as Atma, then we don't have this kind of differentiation or discrimination. Nothing we have. So this is a beautiful message we get from this sloka. So if we follow this, we will not have any hatred, and we will not feel he is superior or he is inferior. Nobody is superior, nobody is inferior. Everyone is the same.